What's up, everybody? It's your boy Prizm God, and it is 8:02. I know we're a little behind right now, but stay tuned. We got a great show. I got my boy Peter Pac-Man repping RPS. Um, let's see. Give me 1 second. We're gonna go ahead and get this thing situated on the other channel. All right. Looks like we're now live on Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, whatever you guys follow me on. I'm thankful for you guys to follow me. I'm waiting on Mark to get on right now. We're gonna get this show started. But exciting show. We're gonna talk about Mint Collective. We're gonna talk about Peter Pac-Man, RPS, what they got going on, new Fanatics news. We're gonna play the same games we've been playing every week. So I appreciate everybody chiming in. I think I got all the people on Instagram right now. There's a lot of people on Instagram. If you want a chance to win a Culture Collision hat, I need you to go ahead and click and subscribe to me on my YouTube channel right now. Right now, because I'm not going to be able to see everything on Instagram. I'm not going to be able to see everything on Instagram. We got about another minute before Kobe Collector's on. We're going to get this show started. Appreciate you guys chiming in tonight for Power Hour of Prizm Gawds. If you've never been here, check out the last couple episodes. Last week was pretty incredible. We had my brother Terrence on last week. The week before, we had Wiz the Collector. We had a lot of different insights from those brothers. Man, it's just exciting, man. I don't know. The hobby's really exciting right now. Everybody's buying, selling, trading, and hold on, let me see. Pull Wax, what up, brother? What up, Mikey? I see you guys. I'm up here showing some love to Instagram right now. Let's see, did Mark come in yet? We waiting on Mark. And we're gonna get this show started. I know, man. Appreciate Bay Area Card Show. I'll be there next week in Tampa. Buying, selling, trade on a high level, man. Y'all ain't ready yet, man. The hobby is definitely fun. It's definitely fun. You never know. I might go back to breaking one day for a short period of time. All right. Let me see who's all here. Yo, there we go. People showing love. Appreciate it. If you want to make the screen, you got to go ahead and subscribe to YouTube, baby. That's where it's happening at. If you want a chance to win, it's only 7:30 Central Time. Yeah, but it has nothing to do with Eastern Time. We 8 o'clock Eastern Time. You want a chance to win the Culture Collision hat? Make sure you click and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And looks like we have Mark. Are you there?
Good evening. Good evening.
You there?
Yeah.
We got Javi Best. He's here. He's up here. He's watching in, chiming in, and see what RPS about to do. Peter Pac-Man got some support. Looks like. I didn't talk to everybody off. You want to say something before we go and get your show started?
A little bit of technical difficulties there, but I think I'm good and good to go now. Thank you, PG, for keeping them entertained. Are they not entertained?
No, they never entertained.
Joint, man.
You said what?
Go ahead and roll the joint.
You sure?
Yeah, kickstart us, man.
You want to kickstart us? Okay, let's turn this music down. Let's get the show started. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's your boy Prizm God, and I am in the building.
What up? What up? You know, it's Kobe Collector 81, ready to go.
And together we are Prizm Gods, man. And this is a very special podcast today. We got the first, I guess I ain't going to say the first person of RPS, but I'm just going to say that one of the members of RPS, Peter Pac-Man, I think it's a very special show, especially since this group, I don't want to say too much. So should we just bring them in? You just want to bring them in?
Yeah, I'm going to figure out about him just like everybody else, man. I heard a lot of great things about him, but go ahead and introduce himself.
Okay, great. All right, so check this out. Welcome, Peter Pac-Man. I really appreciate you being a part of the show. How you doing today?
Man, I'm good. Better than some, worse than others, but I'm good, man. How y'all doing? What's up with the Kobe Collector? What's up with the PG? What's up with the people?
Yeah, we doing great, man. Everybody, I'm going to try to chime in and make sure I bounce back and forth between Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and everything else in between. So if you guys have any questions or concerns, feel free to throw it out there. We really appreciate you guys supporting and coming in and being a part of the hobby. Again, make sure y'all check out the last 2 weeks of shows. We had Wiz the Collector, we had Terrence Twism on there, and now we got the great one, probably one of the best. I ain't gonna. I don't know if I really want to call you necessarily like just. I think you more than just a rapper. I think you more like a. You can almost say you're an influencer in this space because I think for a long time I never saw hobby music. I never saw like you would do the memes. I never saw any of that until I saw you do it.
Yeah.
Like there are probably a few people out there, but can you talk to us a little bit? I know I might be fast forward a little bit, but I just want to get the ball rolling. I mean, like, can you tell me a little bit of backstory on who Peter Pac-Man is and what does RPS represent and how did it all started?
Man, Peter Pac-Man is a father, brother, son. You know what I mean? Husband, all that. You know, I'm just like y'all, normal human being. My normal 9 to 5, my passion. I'm a dean of students at a K through 8. I've been involved with the community for my whole life, essentially. Ever since I was 18, first job I had was working with kids, and I've been doing that ever since. So that's my luckily that's my passion. Luckily, it's something that I I love to do, and it doesn't feel like work, but it is work. Thankfully, it's been able to feed my family for X amount of years. You know what I mean, and provide. So that's who I am before Peter Pac-Man. Peter Pac-Man is one fourth of RPS. You know what I mean? RPS was started by Rip Hamiltop's Peter Pac-Man and Slabby Sosa maybe 2 years ago, almost 3 years ago. I think in August, July, August will make it about 3 years. But long story short, even before the rap, um, my brother and I started. We've been collecting a garage full of cards and toys, all types of stuff. You know, you collect one thing, you collect another thing. But we were in breaks, trying to be like everybody else, doing breaks. We were flipping retail, trying to be like everybody else. And then we said, man, this is cool. Don't get me wrong. It's making money. We already have careers, likely, like I said, to provide for our family. We were doing it because we didn't know this was an extra part of the hobby that people were doing. So we were doing breaks with our family and friends. We were going to buy retail, buying, selling, trading with our community that we knew. You feel me? And then once we realized there was a big hobby community, like we were ignorant and naive, low key. We didn't know there was a hobby community online. So once we seen that, we were like, man, what else can we do that's different that we at least we don't think? We thought of 100 things, and of course, 98 of them that was already out there. You know what I mean? But making memes, like you said, we started off making short movie clips from our favorite movies like Boys in the Hood, Don't Be a Menace, and we turned them into card scenes. You feel me? So people in our family and our circle can relate to it. And then from there, that brought in one of the creators and founders of this whole thing, Javid Best. You know what I'm saying? Rip Hamiltops. That brought him in because he was an athlete. You know what I mean? And he played on that level. And for him, not only was the content bringing him in, but it was also educating him at the same time and sparking some questions at the same time. You know what I mean? So when he was watching our stuff, and then one day, me and my brother, Slabby Sosa, Marcus, we said, man, let's take a song off the radio and make that a hobby song because we don't rap. We've never rapped before 2020 August. Never a day in my life. You won't find us under another name. None of the homies got us rapping. Like we was the partners in the corner. Like, nah, we not rapping. You feel me? But because it was different and we ain't never heard nobody do it before, we said, hey, let's do it. And Javid actually has a musical background. You know what I mean? We all got, it's all in our blood. Our parents and grandparents played the steel drums, still play the steel drums and stuff like that. But Jive know how to make beats. You know what I mean? He spit a few bars before. So he was like, nah, I'm going to make y'all the beat. You know what I mean? And y'all going to rap on that. And we didn't want to do it. We were like, nah, we don't know how to rap. We just know how we want to copy somebody else's bars and turn it into card bars like we do with the skits. Yeah. But he really was like, nah, this can be different. You know what I mean? This can be different and it can be something fun. And it was during the pandemic, a time where him and his wife were expecting. We were all, you know what I'm saying, remote. So we were like, hey, let's do it. We can make music remotely. Let's do it. So Jive made it happen. He sent the music. We tried to write our first song. And then
it sounds like a scene out of Straight Outta Compton, man.
Hey, yup. Straight out the hobby. Straight out the hobby.
Right.
Straight out the hobby. Dope.
Yeah. That's dope, man. I love to hear those stories, man, because I want people to understand in this space, like, you don't have to be like everybody else. Nah. You can literally find your own wave, your own lane, and figure it out. Like I tell Wiz the Collector and I tell um
Retail in the
Mr.
house.
Get It and Flip It. I literally tell these guys all the time, keep their nose clean, stay out of the drama, stay out of the BS, because you don't know what you might be doing in this space in the next 10, 20 years. And it's important for people even like yourself, right? Because I'm about to give you your flowers, right? The first group to ever perform at a card show was RPS.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
was at the Mint Collective last year.
And Hakkasan.
At
Yeah.
Hakkasan, exactly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want to give you guys your flowers for that, right? Because at the end of the day, like that's a special thing, and I think it's important for people to understand. Like this is our community, right? And it's important that we always kind of support each other in this space. So I want to give you your flowers there, and that's also the reason why I wanted to bring you on this show,
Yeah.
because Mint Collective just happened this past weekend. So
Yeah.
we will. So like, I ain't gonna talk about it right now this second. I just want to kind of keep everybody know we're going to talk about Mint Collective this past weekend. We're going to talk about a few other things as well, but I just wanted to hand you your flowers on that, man. Shout out to the whole RPS team, because at the end of the day, like I want you guys to know that, man, I support you guys, and I hope the community continues to support you guys as well, because I think you guys are a reflection of our voice. You know what I'm saying? If most people in this industry could rap, you know what I mean? So I think that's important for us to continue to support each other there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Appreciate that.
actually, man, I like the energy, man. I didn't mean to cut you off there, man, but I had to get in that straight out of Compton reference. Uh,
Yeah.
I like the energy, man, and I actually, when Ralph was sending out all the invites for the show today, I got a chance to get on your Instagram and actually listen to a lot of your clips that you had on there too. So kudos for where you come, right, in the last 2-3 years, and just the impact that you have, man. And I really enjoy the energy. But like we tell everybody on this show, man, there's we might stay a little longer on some of the topics, and that's okay. But it's always from the heart. It's transparent. It's raw and uncut. Like we say on here, man. But always just keep it a buck, man. Whatever you got to say, somebody got to hear, right? So
Yeah.
just know that.
Yeah. We
Mm.
fresh out the pack with it, man. You don't know what
Okay,
you gonna
cool.
get.
All right, so look, so check this out. I know we're a little late, and I kind of want to make sure we stay because we got a couple topics I kind of want to talk about here.
Yeah.
The most important topics before we go in too deep into Mint Collective, I'm going to talk about some of the obvious things that happen at Mint Collective,
Yeah.
and I'm going to show y'all something. Make sure you guys look at this. The people on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, right? Check this out. So this past weekend, Beckett, this was a quick review. Like this is like a quick preview. This was on Thursday, right? And this picture went viral. Um, the dope part about it going viral, right, is like like it was I don't think anybody really knew how to feel, how to take it. You know? I mean, how do you guys take on that when you first see that?
Go ahead, Kobe. You speak first.
Um, well, that was a classic case of speaking before thinking, right? So I think they let a cat out the bag that they didn't know was going to come out. That thing came out kicking and scratching and clawing. And I think the overall, like to be honest with you, right? I wasn't too fond of it, right? Being someone who grades and submits, part time, it was one of those things that really resonated to me. Just being around it, being in the space, and like the concept of it made sense. But I think that the overall like effect that it was going to have on the hobby, I don't think that it was really thought out. I think that they were trying to compete with PSA in that sense and creating the Gym in 10 in a way that they really didn't need to compete with them, right? BGS has been around a lot longer than PSA. So for
Facts.
them to try to stoop down to a competitor's level to think that they have to do that to compete was I think was wrong, right? I don't think that that was the right lane. We talk about it all the time here: is know your lane, stay in your lane, don't pocket watch other people. Yeah, we can see that their subs are down and they're trying to generate some additional revenue there, but that wasn't the right way to go about it.
Man, look, I'm gonna kind of piggyback. I know before you go ahead and say something, I'm just gonna say this. So Bowman Chrome Refractor BGS 10 Pop 4. How does this affect someone like myself who paid a premium for a BGS 10 card that was low pop, right? And let us be honest, right? Anybody that likes Beckett likes we only like them for BGS 10s and black labels, right?
Well, not
I mean, that's
necessarily. We
how I
like them
feel.
because they have subs and they're reputable and they've been
That's
around for a
true.
long time,
100%.
right?
100%.
Because
Right?
they people have said, and I know Pac has to talk, but people have said if PSA figured out a way to put subs on their cards, right, it would be over, right? It would be Vince Carter slam dunk competition over, right? But at the same time, that's the one thing that made a BGS relevant. That's where all these other companies are starting to kind of piggyback off of because they know that that's the one staple that will make
Hmm.
them relevant if they have subgrades. But a lot of them aren't as reputable as BGS. And so for them to come out with that Gem Mint 10, there was two markets that they were going to pretty much slaughter. One of them was the Pristine 10, and the other one was the Gem Mint because they were actually going to take it to a Mint Plus, right? And so everybody that had a 9.5 Gem Mint, their cards were going to be garbage at that point.
Yeah. So a quad 9.5. So the first day when this went viral, Beckett had note at the time, going back to the post, it was quad 9.5s, which are going to allow you to be a Gem Mint 10. Okay. Then the next day, they decided to try and customize it and say, sorry about that, guys, it's below me. Sorry about that. But a 9.5 they ended up changing it to a Gem Mint Plus, which is quad 9.5. And then the BGS 10 Gem Mint became 10 and 3.5s. And you see the rest. 2 10s basically just allows you to have a Gem Mint. And then of course the pristine is still 3 10s. But I mean, do you guys find that to be kind of confusing? I mean, what's your take on that?
Yeah, that's heckin' confusing for me. I'm not gonna lie. Like, first of all, I'll start off with saying I've never graded a card a day in my life. I own graded cards, you know what I mean, but I've never graded a card. I have grades I want to grade, just haven't got them graded yet.
Looks like we just lost. I think we just lost a feed on Peter Pac-Man. Hold on 1 second before he gets back. I guess until then, we'll just kind of continue to move forward, Mark, if you don't mind.
Now that's
So,
cool.
until Peter gets back, we're gonna go into continue. All right, hold on 1 second. Looks like we just got Peter back. What's up, Peter? You back? Can you hear? We can't hear you. Okay. While Peter's still getting his mic together, we'll go ahead and get his. Go ahead and get him. Can you hear me? Okay, Mark.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. While Peter's getting his mic and everything together, we'll continue talking. Hold on, just wait 1 second. You there? I think we lost you somehow, some way. Um, you may have to leave out and then come back, and that's okay. We'll just continue talking. So afterwards, after they decided to come up with these grades, and we'll go ahead and get Peter Pac-Man his input on it as soon as he gets back. After you go ahead and see these grades, they later on, Kobe Collector, they decided on Saturday that they decided they're not going to even make any moves at all. I mean, how confusing is it for a consumer if you're seeing stuff like this?
Well, I think look, people spend premiums,
Peter,
right,
you
on
there?
grades,
Yep.
right? So if
Okay, good.
if it wasn't for the money aspect of it all, it probably I mean it's just putting blush on a pig at that point, right? But at the same time, like people buy grades, right? They don't necessarily buy the card all the time, and they understand that there's multipliers on each of the levels that you go, right? So we know that a BGS sells less than a PSA. We know that a 9.5 mid gem sells more than a PSA 9, but they were
Mm,
getting pretty similar to each other. But we know true gems and true gem pluses do carry a premium over a 9.5. The market had already justified that, you know. Now, when you're trying to compete with another company because you see that they're getting money, I think that was the wrong way to go. And I think that the reason for the big backlash was because people were trying to say, well, man, what happens to my 9.5, my min gem, right?
hmm
And then I saw all the bubble mint, the spearmint, all the other stuff that they started making a joke out of it about. And for the guy to come on alive and say, we had a sample size and we talked to our consumers. Well, who the hell did you talk to? Because everybody that's relevant, right, that's our influencer in there got on and said, this is whack, right? And of course,
100%.
if you're sitting on a lot of 9.5s or true gems or true gem pluses, then it makes sense for you to be, oh man, my cards are going to get an immediate bump. But
Right.
like you said, BGS 10s were going to take a dump and mint gems were going to take a dump. Because what's going to differentiate? What was going to be a mint gem? It's going to be mint, right? So that's what a BGS 9 was. It was a mint, right?
100%.
So whenever there's money involved, you got to really pump your brakes a little bit, think before you talk, and then keep going.
Right.
So let's go ahead and get Peter's take on this. I know we had missed out. Did you want to go back to the original question, or you want to just chime in on everything right now?
Man, to sum it up, it was confusing to me. I don't know why they did it. They didn't have to do it. There was no need for it. You know what I mean? So I'm pretty sure there's a small community, though, or not even small. There's a community that would have liked it, you know what I'm saying, and saw the benefit for them, which is cool. But that's in anything, you know what I mean? Like you said, if it ain't broke, why try and fix it? They a staple, you know what I mean? Just
100%.
hone in on something else. You feel me? Make something else better.
I was gonna say, for the record, guys, I'm actually a BGS lover. I actually prefer Beckett over PSA. I'm gonna go ahead and bring in this comment real quick because I've said this before in many conversations, and I think Lauren Rizzo, she gets it. Beckett justifies the grades with subs. They show you what you have missed. PSA doesn't have to justify their grades, their charges. Beckett needs to capitalize on transparency. That's 100% correct. Like, I've been telling people this for the longest. In my opinion, I think they should educate people on why grades and subs are important. That's a whole, and that's honestly, Beckett, I'm giving you that for free. Take it. That's free game. I'm giving you this game. It's yours. You know what I mean? You didn't want to pay for it. I'm giving it to you for free. This is on the house. Okay. I'm telling you right now, you need full transparency on the fact that you need to be able to educate your consumers, because there's a lot of uneducated people in this space. A lot of them they don't even care about wanting to learn about the subs and why does it even matter. But you can go against that and say why it does matter. That's a whole nother conversation. Literally, there's only one grading company that doesn't use subs, and they're the most popular one. Why is that? They cost the most. I mean, can you guys answer that for me?
Nope. I don't know why. I agree with you. I'm a BGS guy for sure first. You know what I mean? It could be a lot of different reasons though. Popularity, you know, that back when I first started, I feel like collecting and buying slabs though, I don't know, years and years ago, I felt like BGS was popular. I didn't know too much about PSA like that. You know what I mean? I feel like PSA, for me, I feel like PSA got a big boost, you know, in the last few years, and rightfully so in some cases with their consistency in some areas. You know what I mean? But I prefer BGS. I would love to be educated. That's a good thing right there to do. I do that. I listen and hone in. That's a good reason to prefer BGS over PSA. If you let me know exactly why my cards are getting the grades they're getting, full transparency, like Lauren was saying, yeah, for sure.
So, that's correct. So the thing that you also understand, BGS 9.5s used to outsell PSA 10s for a 100%. Long time. But there was the shift in the market that because it was a 10, they felt like it was in a better condition, right? Because BGS had their 10, PSA had their 10. So all of a sudden, this 10 started to really resonate within the hobby community. And so they started paying a premium on PSA 10s. Now, you'll never see a PSA 10 outsell a BGS 10, right? Or if you do, it's going to be really, really rare when you're going to see that, right? So that's the thing, though, is that it started to really capitalize on this 10. But me, personally, if I'm going to keep something for a long time, I'd rather it be BGS, right? And I tell people all the time, if you're trying to PC something, I would prefer BGS, but PSA is bringing the premium and is bringing the profit. So if you're going to grade something for sale, the most profit, if a PSA 10, it's going to bring you more money, right? The odds of you getting a BGS 10 are really slim. I think I've graded one BGS 10, maybe two in my entire life. Of course, I've gotten thousands.
I gave you one of them.
10s. You did. It was a Kobe White Red Prizm. You still give me hell about it because you feel like you undersold it to me, but it's okay. But that's the honest truth, right? People want to make money, and there was a stretch there before the death of the base card where you could turn $5 into $100 just by grading and getting a PSA 10. Now those days are long gone and behind us. But that's what we used to tell people all the time. You want to make more money, you grade with PSA because that's where the biggest multipliers are at.
100%. So, all right. So another moral of the story is that the reason why I really wanted to bring this up was, I always talk about at Culture Collision. My first show, I said that we are the hobby. What did the hobby do this past weekend when it showed its voice about how disgusted it was about what Beckett had, when they were trying to change, the grading scale?
Yeah.
The hobby revolted. The hobby was like, no, this is not going to work for us. And it sent Beckett back to the drawing board. So at the end of the day, like, Beckett's can be worth more or can be equal to what PSA grades can be eventually at some point in time. Once somebody just says, you know what, I don't care whether it's a 9.5 or a PSA 10. Yeah, 10 is more than a 9.5, but I prefer the subs for this reason, right? There's value in that, in knowing what my subs is. That's a conversation that needs to be had. Unfortunately, I don't know if these conversations are had, at Beckett, behind closed doors, but it's not being had on panels that I know of or have seen. Have you guys seen anything?
Definitely not.
Okay, cool. All right, so did you want to add anything else, Kobe Collector, before we move on to the next topic?
It looks like you're going to be the next spokesperson for Beckett, and that's okay. It looks like you have the marketing strategy lined up for them. We are
Oh,
looking for sponsors, so if Beckett wants to sponsor the show, then hey, we can help you out with your marketing campaign. We
hey.
got Pac-Man to do the music here, and we'll definitely reach out and
I don't know. See, as
let
soon
us
as you
know if you
said
need
that,
any help.
just internet started tripping.
Oh man, so look. So with that being said, Beckett gets the of the week.
Yeah,
That's all. I don't even know what to call it. What should I call it? But they
I
get
mean that
that.
crawfish got put in the pot, man. That's
They
all I know.
got that. I don't know. It's kind of weird, but I like to see Beckett do better and figure out a way to add value into what they're actually doing, man. So the next topic we want to kind of talk about this week is some fresh news today. We just found out. Once we get Peter Pac-Man, he'll be back in a minute, but I'll talk to you about this Kobe Collector. I just found out today, it was a post that was added today on Twitter about Fanatics launching basketball cards under its top brand beginning 2023-24 NBA seasons.
Nice.
This is actually news was just posted probably 30 minutes ago, right before the
Wow.
show started. So for the many
So,
people out there that are finding this as new news, expect Superfractor Topps Chromes to be jumping next year. I'll be buying them.
Are
Superfractors. I
they
need them.
are they going to be licensed? Because I don't know. I haven't done that
Well,
research yet because
it
it's too
does
soon. But
say it says let's see, Fanatics basketball cards. It does not. Well, it says NBA. Well, it doesn't necessarily say NBA license. I'm sure we'll find out more information about it soon. But I'm excited either way. What do you think?
yeah, very excited. I mean, obviously, Topps was one of the first chromium
Oh, don't tell me I
cards
lost it.
in '96, Kobe Bryant's rookie year. So, I mean, to me, Prism, right, for all intents and purposes, I know we're Prism gods here, but it's one of those things where it's the original refractor, right? It's the
Mm-hmm.
original silver hollow. So why wouldn't I want to have see Topps Chrome back in the market space? And that probably also means that Bowman Chrome is right behind it too. Some of the best refractors that were ever made, gold refractors, is what came from Bowman and Topps.
What did you think about that, Pac? Can you hear
I
us?
love, yeah, I love it. I love Tops. Tops coming back with basketball. That's what I grew up on. I grew up on Tops Chrome and the refractors and all that. That's my original first love. So I love the idea of that. And anything with the, I'm still pro Fanatics and giving them a chance to see what they're gonna do and add. So I'm definitely feeling that edition for sure, or
Let's
that
do it.
re-edition.
There you go. All right. So next news we actually want to talk about. Right after we did last week's podcast, we found out about the Major League debut patches with Fanatics. I mean, Kobe, I know you big on
Yeah.
baseball. you
New
you
Jordans.
know, I'm not really as big on baseball. I mean, how do you feel about that?
On what?
I mean, on the new patches, the debut patches, it's almost like a logo
Mm,
man for baseball.
I mean, it was cool. I think it's a little gimmicky, but obviously you got to stay fresh. We're actually gonna know that they were player worn, not event worn. I think that they went a little sideways. Now, when you look at the back of a high end product like National Treasures, or you look at the high end product like Immaculate, it says this item was not associated nor used in any event or game of a player, right?
Uh huh.
So now they're probably going to the Fanatic store and cutting up a jersey off their shelves and putting those patches on cards. And we're
Mm,
over here playing premiums upon premiums for these cards that realistically could be napkins, right? Could be anything but something from a player. I mean, it's bad enough that you see Heat colors on Lakers cards and vice versa. But the fact that they're not doing that anymore is bad. So for Tops to come out with this theme, I think it's actually a good thing because it's bringing back the game use portion of a card that made it appealing, back in 1998, when the first jersey card was introduced to the hobby. So, yeah, I think it's a great thing.
mm. How you feel about it, Pack?
I love it. You talking about the debut patches on the jerseys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so now we know it's official. Like Kobe was saying, they already got caught selling Walmart jerseys and cards. You know what I
Mm.
mean? So, like,
No, that's funny. Well, I like the fact that it's almost like Major League Baseball doesn't have like logo man, so it's almost like a
They do.
logo man. What they
They do.
do?
hmm
Okay, where is it at?
Dynasty got a lot of it in their product.
Oh yeah, you know what? You're right. You're right. I'm sorry. I'm out of touch. I apologize. I only focus on basketball and football. So baseball is, it's just really kind of new to me.
Yeah.
All right. So next thing we're gonna probably talk about right now is last week. This past weekend, if you were in Vegas, you were at the Mint Collective, probably one of the most expensive card shows or sports card events in the community outside of the Nationals. We're going to talk about that. We want to talk about a few things that were going on at the show. But before we talk about this current year, Pac-Man, I know you weren't there this past year. Let's talk about last year.
yeah,
Let's talk about that experience of last year. Tell me what your take is on last year's Mint. Like it was his first, the first year Mint.
yeah.
Um, and then like your take, like walk us through the whole process with you.
See, our take, my take is a little different because we, as you know, like we were contracted out by them, so there were a lot of behind the scenes stuff that was just bad business. You know what I mean? But as far as the event itself, I think it was an amazing event. The idea of the event, as far as the networking, I feel like you were able to be around people. It might take you days or weeks or longer to get around in a normal, you know what I'm saying, atmosphere. So I feel like it's much different than a card show. I felt they made uh I felt they made a fake attempt to be diverse and inclusive last year. I think it was more a PC attempt to make it look good. Then once they realized they didn't like what it looked like, they scratched it. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on, time out. So you saying like they didn't it wasn't diversified for you? Like, I mean, what do you mean by can you break that down for me, please?
I'm talking. So for me, man, what brought me to you, Prism God? I think I found your page. There's probably two people in the hobby. I didn't even know it was a hobby. I just found your page before the pandemic. You know what I'm saying? And I saw you and I was like, dang, there's somebody who looks like me in the hobby, and he make it look cool. Like you know what I mean? Like you make it look cool. So I'm like, wow, I'm gonna follow him. And then the naive and ignorance went away, and I found more people. You know what I mean? And it's like, wow, Bart, these people are so valuable to me. They mean so much. But then I go to these shows or I see these shows, promotions, and they panels, and I don't see you on them. You know what I mean? I don't see anybody that look like you on them. So
Yeah.
that's frustrating as an educator. You know what I mean? As somebody who grew up too, having somebody like that and knowing people who didn't have anybody like that. And a lot of us need somebody or need that inspiration and motivation like an Angel Reese. You know what I mean? To do things like that. So um For me, like the way they contracted us to host, and I felt at the end of the day, and then they put us on the panel, but you wouldn't know that going into Mint Collective too. They didn't want anybody to know any parts of that. They didn't want anything to do with these brothers. You know what I mean? They didn't add any value whatsoever. We didn't pay them to do nothing. Like nothing happened. They were never there. So that's how we feel about it. You know what I'm saying about them, because we could only go off what you show and how you act in your actions. You know what I mean? And it's the same. It's the same for a lot of shows when you see the panels and things like that, and you're looking like, what? How isn't Divine Warrior on there? How PG ain't on there? How Wiz ain't on there? You know what I mean? There's a host of other people who should be on there. I'm feeling like that. I know, forget me, you've already inspired me. I know if the kids at the school see you on a panel, they gonna want a room just like you in the back. Like my students that's gonna rewatch this, they gonna want shoes in their back wall. You know what I'm saying? Like and then they gonna do all the right things to get there, because they gonna ask the questions like, how you get there, how I gotta do this. So exactly. The fact that you're not able to tell your story, you know what I'm saying? Like that hurts me personally. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? I've been a PG fan for 4 or 5 years now. You know what I mean? So going into these shows, especially the Mint, you know what I mean? Because we're talking about the Mint and just the lack of representation this year. Rick, we don't have to be there. I can care less if we there. You don't got to. If they put you on the panel, they put Wiz on the panel, they put Sports Collector, Love Who You Collect, Tanya, all these other great people on the panel. I would pay my own money to get to Mint. You know what I'm saying? And I know, but that's not enough push. But yeah, so that's how I feel about Mint, bro. I ain't gonna lie. It's just another, at the end of the day now, apart from it being a great place to network and of course meet up with the hobby community and those people who are able to buy and make sales, you know what I'm saying, and trade, that's always good. But aside from that, it's just another card show, bro. There's nothing different about the intent, the like you say, the intentional inclusion, you know what I'm saying, as you always put it. Like you just made a good point. Beckett, everybody went up and roar about some subgrades, you feel me? But for me, this is a big up and roar, but it's not yet. So I just feel like our communities don't, you know what I mean?
Well, I will say this. I mean, I hate to cut you off, and I'll let you get back to what you're saying. I think the reality, right? And I mean, and then I want to keep it focused on Mint particularly.
Mint.
Or major shows in general. I'm not gonna just make it, sidebar just Mint, because there's a lot of shows that are just like Mint, that have the same issues. I think the reality is I know a lot of people will kind of like bash certain people for not being on the panel, and I'm one of them. Technically, I'm kind of one of them, because a lot of time it's more so I'm not like bashing them in a negative way. I'm more so like kind of like hurt by it. Because I feel like, unfortunately, that's one of the reasons why I brought back Prizm Gawds, is because it allowed me to be able to have my own voice back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, like if nobody wants to give me the platform, I'll use my own platform and I'll continue to scale it the way that I feel that's needed to be, right? And I'll continue to tell my truth, and I'll continue to help people that want to be helped. And that's the whole point of Prizm Gawds to begin with. Why you smiling? Why you smiling, Mark?
Because it's our truth, right now. But look, this is the honest truth, man. Just like I feel like Beckett didn't ask a certain group of people, right? The people who paid to be in this hobby, is the same way that some of these large, Mint collective, right, needs to ask its population, but not just one segment, right? You got to include everybody. There's obviously some stuff that PG has offered to this hobby. Obviously I give him probably flowers on every show that I give him. But look what he did with Culture Collision, right? And he ain't gonna get on here and he ain't gonna toot his own horn, right? Oh, man. But look how innovative Culture Collision was. We got a 3-on-3 basketball game, right? We got DJs, we got live music, we got just about everything there, right? At Culture Collision. Who else was doing that, right? That's what you ask yourself. Who was doing that? Right? Who's trying to incorporate the kids? Who got some mascot running around, right? Giving out stuff. Like nobody has that, right? Does Mint Collective have a mascot? Does the National have a mascot? Like nobody has a mascot, right? That's what I'm saying. Like
I get it. Well, look. I get that aspect of it, and I hate to, I had to chime in, Mark. I've just had to say it because there's a lot of things that you guys don't necessarily know. But I think personally, like, you got to figure out what type of show you're going to, right? And if you're wanting to say Mint is a marketplace, right, for buy, sell, trade cards, and it also has a seminar where you have people who are supposed to talk on our panels, right? That's what it is. And I think what Mint does great at is it visually is appealing. Visually looks amazing, right? It looks great. But there's things that are missing, especially when you talk about these panels, because I think that there is value that the African American or minority community can kind of add. That I think that people are missing. And but here's the thing, though. I think the question is this: I mean, you, like Peter, you've been a Mint Collective. How many minorities did you actually see at the show?
Man, bro, bro, so check this out, bro. Our faces was on every poster. They wouldn't even want to let us in the show. Security would stop us first and foremost. The security who were getting paid by Mint would stop us. The hotel security would stop us. Like, man, our faces right there. What else you need to know? So it wasn't a lot other than the people. I feel like Mint, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I feel like the diversity and inclusiveness that was there, like, a lot of them, I'm not going to say was all of us, but I know a lot of people who booked tickets prior to it being postponed and moved back, you know what I mean, its original date, were coming specifically for the RPS engagement. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So I know a lot of them didn't make it because of that. I know a lot of the all of the people who were there to see us. Y'all were there. You know what I'm saying? Anytime we had something, y'all were there to support front and center. You know what I mean? But it wasn't a lot. It might be the most I've seen, other than I haven't been to your show, but I've seen pictures, your shows for show. But it's probably Mint last year was just the most I've seen all of us in one place. But it felt more like a meetup, more than a card show. Like, oh, let's all meet up here. I wouldn't say that was Mint. That was just an opportunity for all of us to get together. You know what I mean? I wouldn't say that was Mint's doing whatsoever, because look at it this year.
Well, yeah, I will say this.
How was it this year? Was
there people there this year? What was there and what wasn't there, man? But I mean, but you can say that about every show, right? I mean, a meetup. I don't know how many shows you've been to, Peter, but it's like at every show that I've ever been to, there's like a little congregation, right? Where you're saying that, right? And it's like you said, you can probably count on your hand or two hands how many people look like us, right? And I was having a conversation with someone the other day. That affects buyers or potential buyers. If you don't look like them, right? If you don't talk like them, if you don't dress like them, they're gonna stay away from your table, right?
Man. You got to be on the card.
I know we don't talk about that, right?
Y'all being deep right now. I don't know if I want to go this deep right now.
Hey, if you on the card, they mess with you.
All right. I mean, shoot. Yeah. I mean, you know, sometimes you got to appeal to the masses, man, but sometimes you don't have to sacrifice your soul, right, for a buck. So, I mean, that's 100%. What I have to say on that.
Thanks.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. I mean, so to answer your question, Peter, this past Mint Collective, I'm trying to remember. I can't remember exactly what the crowd was like in terms of the crowd engagement. I mean, I always tell people all the time, it's tough to do a show in Vegas, period. But shout out to the guys that do shows in Vegas. There's just so many distractions. I mean, Mint simply kill. I will say this: gotta give them their flowers for this. They kills for the after parties, the after everything that happens after the show. Amazing, right? The sessions, amazing, right? But my problem again, and because I'm not really trying to tell nobody how to run a show, but I will say this, you know, I really feel like we need to be able to have a space to be able to talk on the panels. And it kind of was a little hurt to be able to see, you know, to not be able to see us. And I'll be honest with you guys, for the sponsors out there who are watching or people who might watch this show, the reality is we don't want to see athletes to represent a minority in our space. I'd rather see somebody like a Tony Devine or a Terrence, or who are actually OGs in the space who came from nothing, or even myself who came from nothing, to be able to get, you know, we want to hear those stories, because if you you'd be surprised. Like, what people don't realize, the reason why it's important is because in order for our hobby to thrive and get bigger and better, you have to include other people. That's the whole point of culture collision. is it's going to include other people. Like I don't see color. I don't see rich or poor. I see whoever can hold can who can offer value. I'm willing to listen. I'm always a student, man. I will always listen. I mean, I watch Rolf cards and I sit here and say, dang, he's actually right. That's dope. You know what I'm saying? And we've had Rolf on this show before. Great, has great value. And I mean, again, Peter, you offer value as well. I mean, we would sit here and we give you flowers as well. So I just think that we have to include everybody at Mint. And that's just kind of my 2 cents was Mint in terms of that. But shout out to Ezra and David Marino. I'm cool with David Marino. Really good guy.
Mills.
Um, yeah,
Also, love what you collect too. Shout out to
oh,
them as well. Shout out to Gerald hopping in, and shout out to Joel.
Mills.
Man, I see that dude on every show, man. So definitely shout out. That dude might deserve a hat. He's like our he's part of our #1 fan club right there, man. I see that dude every
which
show.
one? Who you see?
Joel Garza.
Yeah, Joel Garza is always on the show. I will say that. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and throw him a hat, man. You DM me on Instagram, you send me your address, I'll get you a hat, man. You getting one of these Culture Collision hats. Thank you for being a good follower, man. I think I want to say I have seen him for the last 3 episodes. I'm pretty sure, and he's engaging. So shout out to him. I'll give out another hat, and I'm gonna give it out another way for the people on Instagram that actually want to get it. We get a chance to be active. We're gonna read the chats from YouTube. So if you go to YouTube, click and subscribe on there. You can
Yeah.
go ahead and make comments, ask questions. Going to ask Peter Pac-Man questions very soon as we get through everything there. Are any last words on Men Collective? Any other perspective you guys want to put out there for the masses?
I'm gonna put it out now. 2024. I'll first go to Culture Collision, and then if Raphael goes back to Mid Collective in Vegas next year, I'm gonna be right there with them, man. So I can have an honest perspective of what I saw or heard at Mid Collective, man. How about that?
Hey, I appreciate that. And actually, you know what? To piggyback off of that, and something Peter Pac-Man, I want you to do as well, and all the black and minority people that are out there as well. Don't come up with a don't come up with an opinion about a show or somebody unless you give them a fair chance. I think if we're there in quantity and we demand it, just like the hobby demanded Beckett to be able to change quad 9.5s to become BGS 10s, we could do the exact same thing and demand a black person or minority person to be on a panel or be able to speak their truth. So I think it's important. I think it's important for us to be there at the Nationals. I think it's important for us to be at Men Collective. I think it's important for us to be at Culture Collision. Any um, any place where we can have a platform where we can talk about our own opinions and speak our truth, we should be there in the masses and say, "Hey, man, hey Ezra, hey David, hey Joel, hey what's the guy who runs the Nationals? I forgot his name right now. Ray Schultz." Which actually Ray Schultz is actually not a bad guy, and I think I
Ray
think he's
cool.
receptive.
Ray
Yeah, Ray
actually
is actually
cool.
pretty cool. Yeah, anybody that know
Ray
him or
cool.
talk to him, he's definitely 100. But I think it's important for us to continue to support these shows and be able to, if we go to the show and we discuss it, man. Hey, look, I was a little disgusted, man. You didn't really show what I
But
was hoping to show. I
yeah,
felt like I could have got some value from somebody else.
yeah. Also though, we have to other shows need to take a lot of pages out of your book because thanks to Pull My Card and other people, we've been able to sit down with a lot of like celebrity big figures and talk to them hobby, not even music, like talk to them hobby and break it down for them. And to them, the only thing appealing about a convention is something like Culture Collision. You know what I mean? And if we're talking $60 billion valuation in 2027 for trading cards, that's still a small niche of people. You know how many more billions of people that don't care like that. You know what I mean? So I feel yeah, we need to support, but I also feel like we need to support Culture Collision and the other shows need to just the same way we all take stuff we like and add it to our playbook. I feel like they need to put people on who
Mm-hmm.
care about it. They just don't do it because then you're gonna lose your money and waste your money. But contract Ralph out, contract Wiz out for you know what I'm saying to help set this up. So then it's attracting people. So we want to go there. You know what I mean? So our people want to go. We feel safe in there because truth be told, it's really not the same. It doesn't feel safe. You know what I mean? A lot of times. So a lot of that has to change. And I think if people would take some pages from Culture Collision, then I think that would be smooth, man.
I
I
appreciate it.
appreciate the interaction from Laura, man. She dropping some dimes over there in the chat, man. So thank you for chiming in and providing your feedback. We're definitely looking at it every time it comes in. Even Love What You Collect had a gem that put out too. Uh, the hobby lacks authentic respect for true diversity. So it's one of those things, right? It ain't just color, like you said. You know what I'm saying? It's I got a buddy with a beard and tattoos, and he's unapproachable. At times, right? And he got some monster cars in his showcase, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what does he have to look like, right, in order to sell some cards? So, like I said, I think if we keep bridging this gap on diversity and inclusion, maybe that topic hasn't been addressed enough in the hobby, but I appreciate that we have the platform to be able to speak on it, because it's not about white or black or right or wrong. It's about right? It's always going to be about right. So that's just what I got, man. What
Mm.
we got else, man? I don't know what other topics we got, man, but
Well, I
I can
mean,
go all day. I can go all day, every day.
yeah, I know. I don't want to make it a black or white situation. So at the end of the day, like I'm just gonna
Yeah.
close out Men Collective. It's not about that for the people out there who
Nah,
thinking it's more than that. It's not. It's
Yeah.
just the reality is if we are not included a part of the hobby on camera, then it's like we don't exist. That's the reality. That's a sad reality because when you have little collectors, little black kids or minority kids out there who are looking at Mint Collective or looking at the national, looking at these bigger platforms, and they don't see people they can identify with. You can't identify with somebody who has $1 million, like a AJ Dillon or somebody a big football name who Eddie George or who I don't even know who they had. I can't remember who the football player they had, but
it
I
didn't
think they
even
had
work
Jerry
with Drake.
Rice. Yeah, so but but we could talk about that too. I ain't gonna lie, that's the topic we could probably take on right now because I'll say something about this. I think at the end of the month, Golden has a show that's gonna be. We're definitely gonna cover that as we get closer to that Golden show.
Yeah, I think because of
I
April 24th.
Yeah, I'll wait a little bit on that one and I'll say my piece on that.
Yeah.
But going forward, we're actually gonna make it a little bit lighter for you. Let's see. Now we're gonna talk about the pickup of the week. You want to talk about the pickup of the week? What kind of cards
I
y'all to
don't
pick up
even know
this
if I
week?
got any cards that came in this week, man. I
Oh,
think I
stop it!
sent
You
you
got a
everything I
card.
had.
Man, no, you got a card. I want to say my pickup of the week was probably this Jordan Love jersey number, flawless.
See, that's
I think I
rich.
posted it on my page. I mean, it's a pretty nice card. What you got over there? What you got over there, Peter?
No, I didn't pick up any cards this week. I picked up some toys though to add to the Black Panther collection. I got
There we go.
Marvel Black Panther collection. Anything. I started it in 2015 after Civil War, and then in 2017-18, coincidentally, Ryan Coogler got to direct that movie. Ryan Coogler daddy was Slabby Sosa, was Marcus track coach and basketball coach growing up. We went to the same schools growing up. So then after that, I just felt like I just had to get everything. So I got a pretty large collection. So I've been adding to that this week specifically. Not too many cards this week, I don't think at all. No cards this week.
That's okay.
You see
Well,
Ralph's his 101
What you
Black
gonna
Panther
say?
card?
I think so. If you posted it, I seen it for sure. If
yeah, I
you
posted it. I had it. I had it at one point in time, and I actually was funny as what's that? What you got? Looks like it's a John Morant.
John
Is that right?
Morant, immaculate, 12 of 15 jersey number. Since you
That's
wanted your
nice.
jersey number.
Yeah, that's nice. I like that. That was a great pickup. Jaw's a little down right now. Okay, that's what
But
I
he's going
want
to
to
be in the
see.
playoffs. You know what
Just so you
happens in the
guys know,
playoffs?
pickup of the week doesn't have to be a card, man. It
No,
could
it
be a
don't.
toy. It could be a comic book. It could be some sneakers. Whatever you want it to be. Pickup of the week. Show me what you
There you
got.
go.
I
There you
like
go.
it. I love
There
it.
you
My
go.
son
BT.
loves that stuff, man. I'm taking him to Legoland for his birthday. His birthday's May 10th. It's gonna be really
Hey,
dope. Looking
hey,
forward
Legoland
to
go
it.
crazy.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know, man.
kids
I'm
love
really excited
Legoland.
about that. Really excited about that. All right, so since everybody showed their pickup of the week, Peter, I don't know if you watched the show last week, but we're gonna put you in a hot box right now, brother, and we're gonna try to talk to you about this new topic called hold or sell. Hold
Okay.
or sell. We're gonna say
Okay.
two names or two items, two products, two events, whatever. You're gonna say whether you're gonna hold one or you're gonna sell one, right?
Okay.
You ready?
All right. Bet. Yep. Let's
You
go.
ready? You
Yep.
ready? Mark, you go first.
Let's go with, since there's a lot of controversy on these guys sitting, Luca or Kyrie?
Oh, I'm going. I'm going. I'm holding Me personally, I'm holding Kyrie and selling Luca.
There's definitely some upside there. Definitely some upside there. I
Even though Kyrie probably, you know what I'm saying, I don't think he's never gonna be loved by the masses anymore. But me personally, I'd have to. He already got the accolades, and he that guy. So I'm going with
I mean, he
Kyrie.
got the championship already. He don't get no love. You
Exactly.
know?
Exactly. And Luke is still gonna have the hype for forever. So I'm selling all day.
So, well, since I know you like to rip, I'm gonna say retail or hobby.
Oh, I'm holding hobby. And I'm selling retail all day.
Let's go.
All right. Next one I had, I know my list came down. Anthony Edwards or John Morant?
Oh man, I got a whole job and sell Anthony Edwards, man.
You said what? You said
Yeah,
what?
I got to stumble,
yeah, I'm
man.
holding job.
You say you go, okay, I'm double checking. All right. Nat
Yeah.
Turner or Michael Rubin? You holding one, you selling one. Who you going with?
Oh, come on, off top. I'm keeping Ruben, man. I'm keeping Ruben. I'm getting whatever I can for Nat, man. Ruben, I'm holding him, man.
Hopefully Nat not in here, man. I need my PSA 10s on time.
Hey, man, Hobby Revolution. Pack the new Nat Turner, man. Stop
There you
playing.
go. I like that.
What next one I had on my list was Tank or Ryan Garcia, man. I gotta ask everybody, man, because I'm gonna watch that fight on April 15th.
Oh, bro, come on now. I gotta come on, Tank all day.
Oh man, he's gonna get his ass knocked out in the 8th round, man.
I
Watch.
already know. You already know how this goes, man. I know how this game goes, man. But yeah, Tank all day, man.
All right. I'm gonna take it. I'm all right. So since I know you love music, I'm gonna go there with you. You ready?
Yep.
You sure? You ready for this? I'm gonna
I
challenge
hope
you
so.
right there.
I don't love
He's
music
gonna
as
take
much as
mine. You
people
better not
think.
take mine, man. I shouldn't have gave you my question before the show.
No, I'm not gonna say that.
I hope I know
got
what
you.
artists y'all talking about because I don't love music all like that.
All right. So look, well, since you you're part of hobby music, I'm gonna challenge you to this. Too
Okay.
Short or Drew Down?
That's scandalous. You did that on purpose. That's scandalous. I'm going with Show. I'm going with Show, dog. But that's scandalous. I'm not. I'm going with Show, and I'm selling, but I'm not sending the package on Drew Down.
Oh man, you keeping it. It's gonna get lost in the mail.
That's funny. I like that
So
one.
I'm on 4. Like I said, I don't know what my questions at, but I'm coming off the top. Jalen Hurts or Lamar Jackson?
Man, I still got to go Lamar Jackson. I'm not gonna lie. Give me Lamar, and I got to sell that Hurts.
All right.
Yeah.
So Fanatics or Panini?
Fanatics all day. Fanatics
You ain't
all
gonna
day.
you ain't gonna miss Panini?
Not at all. I don't think they really gonna go anywhere like that. You know what I'm saying? They just gonna be less of a factor like Top. So we won't miss them at all.
Pat, where you from, Pat?
Oaktown.
Bay Area.
Okay.
Town, yep. Oakland, Richmond, Berkeley, Frisco, all around the Bay Area.
I'm gonna challenge you with this one, man. All right,
Mm-hmm.
all right, because you in music, right? So I'm gonna hit you with this one. You should know who these two guys are, man. But if you decide on one, man, I'm gonna give you all the due respect. Nipsey or Tupac, man? Which one you holding? Which one you selling, man?
Oh, you're gonna be mad at me, Pete. You're gonna be mad at me. I grew up on Pac, but I probably sell the Pac and hold the Nipsey. I can relate more to Nipsey than I can Pac. Pac was when I was younger. I grew up on Pac, so he always gonna have that place in my heart. But Nipsey, like really changed my life type thing. Like I can really, I learned stuff from Nipsey. You know what I'm saying? Like listening to his music and watching his moves. So for sure, I gotta
Man,
go
ain't
with
gonna
Nipsey.
hate you,
Man.
like I said. I mean, I'm gonna respect whatever answer everybody get,
Yeah.
But to me, it would have been a hard one for me, So I wanted to get you that, but I appreciate the realness in your answer, though.
Yeah,
right.
Nip for sure.
Okay, you ready? I got one for you. I don't know if this might be too hard for you, but I'm gonna give you another one. Jalen Hurts or Warren Moon? You hold one, you sell one.
Hobby to the moon, Warren, huh? Man. That's scandalous right there, man. I'm sticking to. You know what? No, I'm gonna flip it. I'm gonna flip it on this one, man. I'm sorry, OG, but I'm I'm gonna keep the Hurts, and then I'm gonna sell the Moon, man.
There you go. I like that answer. I like that
Yeah,
answer. Shout out to
yeah,
Jalen Hurts, man.
yeah, yeah. Love for Jalen
And
Hurts.
he's
He's
from
still super
Houston too,
young,
man.
man. I
You
think
said
he'll have a
what?
better career than
He's from
Moon.
Houston,
Moon.
Jalen Hurts.
Oh yeah, well, see, I know. I'm trying to give you a homer answer. That's for you. All right, so a part of the show, so we're almost at an hour. We're right at an hour. So I'm gonna say this, guys. If you have any questions for Peter Pac-Man, myself, or Kobe Collector, feel free to throw those in right now. Best question gets a free hat. Free
Man,
hat.
I like all the answers on Instagram, man. I'm over here scrolling uh through a whole bunch of stuff over here, man.
Best question.
Lots of interaction,
I'm at,
lots of questions, lots of
I'm
stuff
going back and
going on
forth. I'm
over
gonna
there.
take. Well, look, I'm gonna take two questions off of Instagram and two off of YouTube. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. So give me one. Come on. Where you guys at? See, Channel View, Texas. Let's see. I don't see any questions yet. Any questions? Anybody? Any engagement? See, Joel talks. He's talking about Tops. I'm gonna tell you, Tops got the redemption game on par. I've sent 3 redemptions. All of them came back within a week.
Oh, there ain't nobody fucking with Tops. I mean, excuse my language. I know it's a family show sometimes, man, but there ain't no one messing with Tops Redemption. So whatever the hell kind of people they got working in those warehouses, ain't nobody messing with Tops in their redemption
Mm.
game, man. I don't
Hey,
think
John.
I've ever waited over a month or 2 months to get a redemption back. I'm waiting
Oh
on about
snap!
3 years to get one back from Panini.
There you go. So here's a question. This is for Pac-Man. Can
Yeah.
you open a box I sent you your way on live?
Oh, that's Canadian, huh? I thought about, man. I don't even know if it's right here with me. I don't even. I would if I. Let me see.
All right, I got another question from
Nope.
View My
I'm
Grind
gonna open it
69.
live for him though. I'm gonna open it live for him though. Just
You
not
gonna
right
open it up
now.
live? All right, so that question
Uh,
cannot get answered unless he does answer it. It might be something dope, so it might be a good question. If not, I have another question. I'm sorry I can't put it on the screen because View My Grind is on
Good
Instagram.
question though.
Who do you guys feel is an overrated player everyone is collecting? Woo, man, that list is kind of long. All right, go ahead. You go first, Mark.
Nah, I'm gonna leave that one to you, man.
I don't know. For a long time I was saying Luca, but he's finally starting to
yeah.
drop. So,
Overrated or overvalued? They said
oh, you
overrated.
know what?
'Cause
That's
to
a
me,
good
that's
point.
two different things,
That's a good point. That's a
right?
good point. You're absolutely right. I apologize. You're absolutely right. So, View My Grind. Who do you guys feel is a overrated player everyone is collecting? Who's overrated?
Mm.
I got almost. I ain't gonna. Well, overrated. Who you got, Mark? Because I don't have nothing right now off the top of my head. Oh, somebody said Zion. I mean, here's the thing, though, Joel. I will say this: when he plays, he's not overrated. He
No,
actually performs when he
he's a
plays.
game changer when he plays. He might
Yeah, when
break
he
his shoes,
plays,
but
I don't know if he's
he's a game
overrated.
changer. Well, everybody's collection because everything has to be so liquid. So everybody's collecting people who are actually not overrated, right?
All right.
I
Well, how
mean,
about Purdy?
I
Somebody
mean,
put it
he
in the
did get
chat.
his
That's
team
kind
all
of.
the way to the championship. So how is he
Did he?
overrated? Like to me, I don't think he's overrated. I
Did
think
he?
that it's a sucky
I
situation
feel
for
you.
Trey Lance to be in right now. But I don't think Brock Purdy is overrated by any stretch.
You see any good questions? I ain't gonna lie. Somebody said Trey Lance. I don't know. I might have to come back to that question. Let me think about that one because I ain't gonna lie. I'm like he kind of caught. He might have stumped me on that one because I can't think off the top of my head who's really like overrated. Because overvalued and overrated is definitely two different things.
I mean, I
And I'm
think
trying
you
to
got
think.
it right with Luca though. Like Luca hadn't sold anything, but he outsells everyone else, right? Like look at all the other people. Like how does Luca outsell Damian Lillard? Like to me is how does that happen?
Potential.
You
Off
know how
potential.
does Luca
Yeah,
outsell
I agree.
Devin
It's the
Booker?
potential. It is the potential. I agree with that. I mean, but I've said this before in the past. In order for Luca to get a championship ring, I don't think he could be the best player on the team. I think
I
he has
think
to be a
I think
facilitator.
Joe said something good too. Mike Trout is actually a really good answer. So how does Mike
Mike
Trout
Trout,
outsell Shohei? Like, how does that happen? Right?
Mike Trout and Luca the same to me. I don't get it.
Oh, all right. So Lauren Rizzo, she's been active. I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna ask her. Answer. Well, give her a question up. There have been a lot of women in the hobby panel. Some of us are a little over that, but how would y'all feel about a black collector or POC panel?
Well, I
I
mean, I think
love
we touched
anything
bases
different.
on that. I mean, like it's about diversity, and I mean
Yeah, I
it's all
agree.
about. Look, there's a reason why Barbie was so successful a long time, and then they all of a sudden came out with the Black Barbie, right? Like people want to see stuff that looks like them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think I referenced this a little bit on the last show, but when my daughter, my youngest one, was growing up, right, when we went to the store, she always gravitated to the toys that look like her. So there's a natural, like there's something that's embedded in us that wants to see and feel and look at TV and see something that looks and sounds like us, right? So
Mm-hmm.
in
Yeah.
order to bring people more to the hobby, it's going to take somebody that looks like them. So just my
Well,
take.
I will say this too. Pat, you want to go first before I answer?
No,
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm agreeing with Kobe. I'm agreeing with Kobe
Okay,
because I'm
I
just
will
like
say
the
this.
same thing.
Go ahead.
I like to see you on the panel. I like to see you on the panel. Others, there's just so many valuable black people, people of color. I don't want to. I don't. I like the term people of color, but I hate grouping people of color together,
Yeah.
acting like all they oppressions and struggles are the same because they're different at the same time. You feel me? Everybody has their own experiences, even within that. But I definitely like to see more of it, man. More. I would go to more shows if there was more of it. I'd feel safer.
Hmm. All right, that's interesting. I would say, because I wasn't really sure. I kind of took her answer as like it should it be an all black panel, and I'm gonna say no for that. If that's what is that, did I address that right? Um, I feel like having a mixed panel is better than having a all black panel because I
Yeah.
feel like here's the
Yeah.
thing: if you put me on a stage with Josh Luber, Ruben, you can even throw Ray Schulte out there, whoever. I think by putting uh somebody that somebody else respects with somebody else that they respect, and as long as they can speak to what the hobby is and it makes sense, I think they're like I said, it's all about the value, right? Like here's the thing, like a lot of people from Fanatics, these new guys from Fanatics, they don't know as much as we know about the hobby. So how could you put somebody on a panel that doesn't know anything about the hobby?
Yeah.
Does that make
So,
sense?
so I
Makes
mean,
zero
and
sense to me.
that's part of one of the highlights of when we started Prism Guides, right? Was because when we looked around at podcasts, there wasn't people that looked like us. There wasn't people that
Mm,
sounded like us, right?
mm,
There wasn't people that kept it a buck no matter what, right? There wasn't
mm,
people that were really getting back and really resonating with what I wanted to hear at the time, right? So
Mm,
who was talking about staying in your lane, right? Who was talking about, invest in what you know, right? Like nobody was talking about that until we first started talking about that. Like, I think I heard on somebody else's podcast briefly coming through, and they're talking about knowing your lane. Like, where the hell did y'all get that from, right? Like, that was one of the segments that we had on all of our shows when we started out, was talking about how to get into the game, how to invest, how to understand. You can't be in the 80-mile-an-hour lane when you just got on the freeway. Like, how can you automatically jump over there? You're gonna get your ass a ticket. Jumping lanes all the way that fast, right? Somebody gonna slow you down. So, I
mm-hmm.
mean, we talked about that
yeah.
all the time, man, and we really wanted to hear and see people that look like us, right? That thought like us, that maybe said the same thing. That's why I say every show that we come out with, right? And go from there, man.
Mm. Yeah, so
Yeah.
Love What You Collect says, do you think hobby growth will with the mass population is really reachable? I'm going to say yes because I believe in what Culture Collision is doing. I'm going to say because I can't speak to nobody else's brand. So I'm going to talk about my brand and my agenda, and my
Yeah.
my agenda is to see us get to that. Because I believe that if you
Yeah.
bring in the majority, right, then what'll happen is the hobby can become more stable. So you should want more people in the hobby because at the end of the day, like, yes, it will be more competitive, but there'll be more demand. It'll be more of a demand. And then on top of that, you can create more collectors. That's where the whole education comes from, even Beckett. They're missing the ball there. Like, and I know I'm going backwards a little bit, but it's a lot of miseducation. And I think the other thing is too, is, and I could take this away from some of these bigger platforms like the Mint and even the National. If 100 people hear the conversation, how many people heard the conversation? Nobody but the 100 people that was in the room. So if you're only focused on having a conversation with the minority, then the majority can't get the value that maybe you would have been in that room. So, that's my 2 cents. So I think we can get to
Yeah,
that goal. So that's my goal.
I know we can, and you're the proof. Culture Collision is the proof. But it takes more of us to be more active. Like, we have to be active. We have to create more spaces that are inclusive for everyone, like PG has done. Like, he cannot be the only one. He showed us how to do it. He's laid the blueprint. He's invited everyone. Before that, he laid ground and put in hard work. Like, he showed what it takes to get there. It's not gonna happen overnight, but I feel like in order for the hobby to grow, we actually have to grow it. I don't think they can grow it for us unless they're gonna hire Ralph and hire these people, hire Kobe, and put them people automatically in position to win. They already dropped the ball on that and hired a whole bunch of other people who are good at other business parts, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? But this is the hobby, so why wait on them? We can still enjoy this hobby space, as PG was saying. Go to whatever shows you want, but we can also build on top of the hobby and add on to the hobby where people feel comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it's up to each and every one of us now to find out what's our lane. How can we add value? How can we contribute to what Ralph started and other people have started? Because the groundwork started before Culture Collision. It started when y'all were going through these shows. Like, y'all learned a lot just by experiencing a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, y'all going off a lot more experience than me, for sure. You know what I'm saying?
But
so
those are the stories that are
know
never
that-
told, though. That's the problem, though.
Well, it's
I'm
like
sorry.
one of those family
They
secrets.
need to be told, though. They need to be
It's like
heard.
one of
They
those
need to
family
be heard,
secrets
because
that
those are
keep
the
coming up
stories
at
that's going to bring us
Thanksgiving,
in.
man. Right? It's one of those nobody's gonna talk
So-
about it, but just because you don't talk about it, don't mean it's not there, right?
Agreed.
And it has to be
Yeah.
communicated
Yeah.
out, or else it's never gonna get out, right? There is certain ways that
Right.
we're treated, right, in this hobby. But like I said, I think we've kind of addressed that enough. And I mean, there's always going to be next week to address
Of
some other
course.
things. There's
Of
always going to
course.
be something else to talk about, man. But
Let me ask this 2 more questions on Instagram, because Instagram, I haven't given him a whole little bit of love, so I'm gonna go ahead and go with Dr. Collectible. Again, congrats to Dr. Collectible with his newly acquired deal that he did with the National, being able to be in charge of the social media again. Somebody who's taking the steps to network, put himself in a position where he felt where he wanted to be at, and that's good. But his question is, random question: do y'all see technology taking over grading companies compared to having a natural people do it?
I think it's already started doing that for PSA. I think CSG actually has a fully automated kind of IE system that does all its grading. I think PSA has bought that software as well to actually streamline the process that they have. But I think there's still some errors in some of the grading. Maybe that's why they haven't put out some of the as many PSA 10s as they have previously. But look at what happened in McDonald's, right? McDonald's in Denver has a fast food joint that don't have no employees. It's all robotic. So obviously it's a wave of the future. So I'm pretty sure one of these companies are going to jump on that boat ahead of some of the other people, especially with all the employment shortages that are out there. So it's bound to happen.
100%. Well, let's see what other question I see. Thanks, Lauren. All right, so
that was his other question right here. Do you feel, from View My Grind 69? It says, do you guys feel the hobby has gotten too expensive for the average person to join and get started?
No.
Nope.
Not at all.
Nope.
Not at all.
There's always something.
100%.
There's always
something.
Now,
you can't.
Hold on.
Go ahead. All right, go ahead.
I'm going to go to the other side of that. There are certain segments of the hobby that are too expensive for the average person, right? There was a time where a hobby box of Prizm basketball got to the heights of like $2,000, $2,500 a box, right? And the risk reward on that was pretty severe, right? It was either boom or bust. So I think there are certain aspects that are a little expensive, but coming in, and we talk about knowing your lane and understanding what your budget is going to get you, if you stay within your means, no, nothing's ever going to be expensive. But when you start chasing something that is 100 miles an hour in front of you that you're never going to catch up to, then that's where you'll find yourself probably priced out of the hobby.
Well, I guess the question you got to start off with is what is too expensive? I mean, that's relative. Expense is relative. I mean, when I was in high school, I bought a box of Upper Deck for $100. You know what I mean? And now for that same box, if I'm buying Panini, it's gonna cost me $500 to $600. But if I buy a retail blaster, maybe it's $20. So it just depends on what do you see as being expensive. I mean, the question you got to ask yourself is what do you see yourself in this hobby? Where do you see yourself in this space? Right? Are you a collector? Are you a day trader? Or like, are you gonna are you trying to make money in this space? Right? So then what's your point of entry? Oh, I got $500. Maybe I got $1,000. And then if you're taking that $500 or $1,000, which might, to a lot of people, especially in my neck of the woods, right, $1,000 is a lot of money for a lot of people that don't have it. And so if your point of entry is $1,000, you can literally take $1,000 and buy it currently at a show and use that money and reinvest it while you're at a show and make money. That's what people are doing. That's what hundreds of thousands of people are doing, every weekend. So I think, and again, Lauren just chimed in and said it depends on your goal, and she's 100% correct. And that's why I say you have to figure out why you're here and what you want to do in this space. Like I told you guys a long time ago on YouTube that I'm a hybrid. I consider myself a collector first. I usually try to buy stuff that have appeal to me. If I end up getting stuck with it and I'm like, oh man, I want to keep it, I'm cool with actually keeping it. And if it is saying if there's some money to be made in it, I have a price in mind. I always have a price in mind. I had to learn that the hard way when I first got into this space. And Kobe collector, you know it. There used to be guys that used to tell you how much for your whole box. How many
Yeah,
times you
that
see
don't
that
happen no
back in the
more.
day?
Hey, some people's pockets ain't that deep because some of these guys in these cases,
Yeah,
they ain't walking around with $1 million, $2 million in your pocket. You can't do that no more.
100%. Well, yeah, it used to be. It definitely used to be. It used to be a different, bro. It definitely used to be different. But I remember those days. What's your take, Pac?
On what?
On what they were talking about in terms of, let's see, what was that question again? I forgot it just that quick. I was just talking.
Yeah.
Is a hobby too expensive?
Oh yeah. No, like you said, if you got a goal, it all depends. Like for me, no, because I know what I like, and what I like, nobody likes old vintage women's cards or cards that tell historic stuff. That stuff's still 50 cents. And then the second it becomes $500, guess what? I find something else to like and learn.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the way I collect. You know what I
That's
mean?
dope.
So
That's
my
dope.
PCs are all people that I grew up with, or I got personal stories, or I fell in love with them outside of sports. So they're not the greatest achievers, you know what I'm saying, for their sport. So for me, the way I collect it, there's always going to be a niche in a market I can, you know what I'm saying, get what I want from my like Kobe was saying, my budget, stay within my means.
Wow. Well, I really appreciate you guys chiming in. We probably about to get off in a few minutes or so. If there's one or two more questions, I'll take one. I love big buys, pulls out of stuff. Okay, I'm just reading some of these comments here real quick. Me personally, I jumped into wanting to do it, but jumped in blindly, honestly. That's not bad. At least you learn from your lesson, I'm sure. Especially when you got young kids. I think that's pretty much everything. Did you want to add anything else, Kobe Collector or Peter? Did you want to talk about anything else?
Nah,
Anything on your
man, I'm
heart?
good, man. Appreciate you. Say
Anything
what?
on your heart that you want to say?
Man, nah, appreciate being on here. Appreciate everybody for stopping by and listening. Nice to meet you, Kobe. It was just a pleasure, man. Looking forward to, rapping and building and continuing to add value to this space in any shape, form, or fashion.
Hopefully you come back on next time. Can we get it next time?
Oh yeah.
Glad you on next
Oh yeah,
time.
for sure.
I appreciate it.
All the time. All the time.
Thank you.
On behalf of Rip Pack and Slab, man, Spreetail,
I ain't gonna
man.
even lie.
Oh
I wanted
yeah.
to get all three.
I
I wanted to get the whole group on, man. I wanted to get the whole group on. Next time I'll aim for that. So the next big thing you guys have going on is there anything RPS has got going on that you want to tell the world about?
Well, then
just look out. Just be on the list. Always look out. It's coming. Now we always
Tesla's my
drop
record.
music every week. There's always music dropping every week. Of course on the music end, but we got some more some other things popping. We, like I said, Pull My Card. We got some things going with Pull My Card. Joe. out in Houston and some other folks, man, that we really trying to really bring the culture into the hobby by getting the help of the culture. You know what I mean? So we really been uh, 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 just that's the focus right there, man. Is just trying to get the culture into the hobby. Just play our part, man. Like you do your part, we trying to do our part, man.
Appreciate it.
So you know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Well,
No,
Culture Collision eventually going to be the Super Bowl of sports cars, man. So we're probably going to have to do like a live podcast from there, where if they walking by, we're going to invite them up. We're going to have a few words, and then we're going to go. I'm not going to give out no gems, man. I can't sell no tickets for Ralph, man. Hey, I don't even have a damn Coach Collision sweatshirt, man.
Stop it. Your brother makes most of the stuff. Just so you know. It's okay. All right. No, it's all good, man. So look, we really appreciate everybody chiming in for this version of Prizm Gawds this week. And look forward to next week. We're going to have a new guest on here next week. If you haven't seen us, make sure you like and subscribe on the YouTube channel. It's Prizm God TV. Make sure you like and subscribe. It's in my bio on Instagram. And if not, just Google search. Literally, it's very simple. Prizm God TV on YouTube. You just click like and subscribe. I appreciate it. For the people, did we come up with a winner for the second hat? Who you think had the best question?
Oh man, I thought Lauren came in pretty strong the whole show, man.
All right, so you saying Lauren came in with Lauren came in? All right, Lauren, feel free to give me a DM on Instagram. Send me your address. I'm going to send you out a free Culture Collision hat. Really appreciate you. Really appreciate you and everybody being proactive in the space. Without you guys, we'd just be here talking to each other. Really, what's funny is me and Kobe Collector used to talk all the time on our cell phones. We just we might as well just do this live and let everybody hear it. And there's probably millions of conversations that happen just like this that never get seen, never get heard. So make sure you guys make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Appreciate you again, Lauren. Appreciate everybody supporting. And I guess we out, right?
Oh, well, the only other thing, right? So we're always looking for new and exciting guests. So if this is something that you'd like to do, then definitely reach out. We're also looking for topics and suggestions for the show. So if there's something that you may have not have heard today, but you want to hear on the upcoming shows, feel free to reach out and give us your ideas, right? There's nothing too bold that we can't talk to. Obviously, we talk about anything and everything we talk about is from the heart. So we talk about stuff that really resonates with us, but maybe there's something that you want our take on something that you were feeling. So hopefully somebody caught something today that was beneficial for them. Pac-Man gave us some gems today, so appreciate you for that. Definitely appreciate you being on the show today. They definitely gave me a different perspective on some stuff. The Lego box and also the 50 cent cards, like you said, I'm a pivot. If it gets too expensive, I'll pivot to something else, right? So there's ways to continue to make this hobby relevant for yourself, no matter what entry point you're coming in at. But definitely thank you for reaching out. And I know I told everybody I gave that card hobby gem at the end of last show. So I appreciate everybody that actually stood with us all the way through the show last time and really chimed in and asked questions afterwards. So thank you for that.
Card Hobby showed love too at Mint. Yeah, Mint. It was like, yeah, appreciate the shout out. So maybe they could sponsor us. All right, good night, y'all. Peace. Peace out. Good night. Kobe, you ain't gonna say nothing?